Hello and welcome again to Oscar Mike Radio. My name is Travis, Marine Corps veteran and your host. Oscar Mike Radio is part of the Hubazoo Network. You can find out more on hubazoo.com. I want to thank my sponsors, Joyce Asack of Asack Real Estate, Army National Guard veteran Mark Holmes of Reapers Detailing and Power Washing, and my supporters, Caisson Shaving Company, Exceptional Parent Magazine, and I'm going to announce it right now, Fight Camp, and more on that in 2025. So this is number 428. This is the last show for 2024, and it's actually being recorded on 12/25/24. So yes, that's right, it is Christmas. And the kids are doing not the kids, they're young men now, they're boys, young men, my babies, all doing their thing. The house is cleaned up, laundry's going. I'm like, you know what? I'll just do something epic. We're going to record outside on Christmas in the wild. Let's do it. So I packed up my stuff. I'll have some, you're seeing it on the side here, and here's me. And where am I at? Well, is that even right English? I don't know. I am at the Louis B. Dorsey American Legion Post in Abington, Massachusetts. And I thought it was fitting to be here to record the last show of 2024 because I've been reminded several times this year about how important the American Legion is, not only to veterans who have served, but also to the community at large where the American Legion is. And so I'm going to take this show and talk about the American Legion, things going on in Abington, things going on Oscar Mike Radio, and send out this year of Oscar Mike Radio in style on Christmas. Merry Christmas. I hope yours was a great one. I hope you had great times with family. And thank you so much. Even though this will air on 12/26, that's right, I'm going to record this, go home, cut it, smooth it out, and get it on, my thing ready to go. This is how I roll. I was just sitting there, I'm like, I could play Call of Duty, it's double XP weekend, or I could just sit here and read a book, or I could just sit here and nap. But no, let's just do it. I get an idea, I'm like, I don't know if it's going to work or not. Let's just do it. So we're doing it now. And I think I'm also learning another lesson right now. You have Stockholm Syndrome for a particular place or location. It's 28 degrees outside, and it doesn't feel that bad. Now, you might be asking yourself, Travis, that's pretty cold. And yes, 28 degrees is not warm by any stretch of the imagination. But Monday, it was 6 degrees. Yes, that's 6 degrees above zero Fahrenheit. We're imperial here. But 6 degrees above zero, that's crazy, right? 26 degrees below freezing. So 28 degrees at 8 o'clock at night feels positively tropic. Yeah. So I'm standing out here by the Frollo is on my left, your right, and the post is on my right, your left. Behind me is the memorial in Abington that they have put up, and I'm on the back side of it because people always see the front side if they're driving down the road, but you ought to come around to the back and look at the flags. Now, I don't know about you, but that is just really a peaceful, classic, respectful scene right there. So much so that they have the benches that you can look at from the back, and I can see why, because, even though it's, we're right in the heart of Abington, and we have the Frollo, we have the Woodsdale School, the football field, and the high school just around us, at this time of night is pretty peaceful. And, it's pretty cold right now, but that's okay. So let's talk about the American Legion. This post is an historic post. It's an historic landmark in Massachusetts. It's a very old building. It's been around for a very long time. And, Louis, Dorsey served in Abington, which is what the post is named after. And it's just a piece of history. And I think that's important because a lot of times you see buildings built right now and they all look the same. There's no character. They're not built to last. Maybe they are, but they don't seem like it. Like this building's been here several lifetimes, seen a lot, and it's just a really cool place to go to a meeting. And I think it's a good story. It's supported. A lot of community events happen here. The weekly meat raffle that Ken and Christy Colburn put on. The Legion meets here. There's other things going on here. It's just a great place to be. And then you also see several community events going on throughout the week at this building. It'd be a shame, but it's happening more and more in our country where old buildings like this aren't supported as much by the younger veterans, aren't engaged with a whole lot by the community, and eventually they fall into disrepair and they're taken over by a private entity or the community themselves. And, I can't thank Ken and Christy and the rest of the people that support them to keep this building going and to keep the Legion alive. I'm a member here, trying to get more active now that I can and help out where I can, but it's just really great to have this here. They did a whole lot during Abington Celebrates, the Abington Fall Fest, other things that happen right here, the meat raffle, people having different functions at the Legion which are available to you, so it's part of the community. And it's not unique. There's a lot of Legions that are like that. If you remember, I had Major Dragon from Maine in South Paris, Maine. That Legion is heavily involved in the community. So it is to say that if you are a civilian, never served, and you're wondering if there's a place for you at the Legion, there probably is. They'd probably be happy that you would show up. You can't become a member of the American Legion because you didn't serve, but there's certainly something you can do to help, volunteer, support, or simply, you have a plethora of choices for your next event. Well, you could do your event at an American Legion or a VFW and, help them keep themselves going and give back a little bit. And it's just great to see what this Legion does. There's a whole calendar list of events. I'm going to try to post it in the Oscar Mike Radio Show post, but it's really, really great to see. And I'm just blessed to be a part of the Legion and see what the Coburns are doing. And it's part of the fabric of Abington. There's a football game or any other kind of big event. The Legion's always open and there's always people around. And, I've seen what they do. And if you have volunteered at a Legion event here in Abington, thank you so much. So that's just one thing I wanted to cover quickly as we come into the end of 2024. It's just really great to see that the Legion's so active and that they're trying to, remain relevant and be a part of the community fabric. And I think that's so important. The second entity I want to talk about is the Daughters of the American Revolution. Now, I didn't know much about them. The only daughters that I knew about were the Daughters of the Alamo. And they are from Texas, of course, and those women can go back to the Alamo, Santa Ana and all that in Texas and trace their lineage from those people to their families now. And that's a very, real thing, and they're very proud of that. Well, the Daughters of the American Revolution are in the same vein, and you could say that they're older than the Daughters of the Alamo, no disrespect, but they trace their lineage back to the birthplace of our country. They have family members that served in the Revolutionary War, and so hence their name, the Daughters of the American Revolution. And it's been really interesting over the last year and a half, now that I'm able to kind of ambulate and move again, to see how involved the daughters are in the community fabric for Abington. This is, last year in 2023 and this year in 2024, the daughters had a Christmas tree at the Abington Town Hall to allow people to come down and make gift donations to veterans in need. And it was really, really beautiful to see. The tree was all up. You might have seen the clips of the Grinch showing up and, causing all kinds of mischief and trouble and raising awareness. But it was really a beautiful thing to see this entity that is focused on, finding their lineage and keeping their legacy alive from the Revolutionary War, but saying, hey, you know what, we can take what we have and help others out, and we'd love to help veterans out. And I got to see them at the Abington Celebrates Veterans last year at the Abington Council on Aging event. Well, it was, hosted at the Abington Council on Aging, but done through the Abington Veteran Services and, Adam Gunn. And that was one of the reasons why I'm, been so involved with all this, and it's really been really great. But I saw them again, back in November, and they started telling me what they have going on in the community. They just went over to the cemetery here, Mount Vernon Cemetery in Abington, and dedicated a plot of the burial ground to people from the Revolutionary War and family. They honored them at a ceremony here last November, and it was a very beautiful, well-done ceremony. Very beautiful, very well done. And it just impressed upon me something that I'm telling, more and more of my fellow veterans is, I really do believe the next phase of veterans advocacy is civilians. We need civilians to engage with us, and we need them to feel welcome at our events, and we need them to engage with us to understand our needs and why we're different, but also why we add value to our community, to a place of business, to schools as teachers, anywhere really. If you serve our country, you have value that you may not know about because you've been focused on your primary military MOS, and a civilian can look at that and help you in many, many ways. I think it's to our benefit as veterans to reach out and welcome them when they come. They want to participate and, understand how they can help us and benefit from that. So that is to say that, before the Christmas season, they had the tree up this year, and Jill Higgins has been great getting it all coordinated with her team from the Dorsey American Revolution. And we got to deliver presents, and it was just really awesome to hear the stories Jill told and her mom told about people coming to give to veterans and making sure that, hey, you know what, this guy just wants a gift card or, a hoodie. Well, he got sweatpants and socks, and that kind of thing happened over and over again. It was really great to hear and see, and I was really blessed that we had that available to the veterans here in Abington. Again, it's just an example of people in the community all across the nation taking, pride in their veterans and wanting to help them out. And speaking of that, one of the things that I really want to touch on is that's really it's still hitting me in the feels, still get a little emotional about it weeks later, is Wreaths Across America. Now, as you know, I have my show on Wreaths Across America Radio. I've been working with Jeff Pierce and Chris Chapman for quite some time, and it's been an extremely positive experience, but I never got to actually go to a wreath laying ceremony. Part of the reason was I couldn't walk and move very well for a long time, and now I can. So this year, Adam Gunn, the Director of Veteran Services for Abington, got with Christine in Quincy, his Quincy counterpart, and they needed a Marine to participate in the ceremony. And I got to participate, and so I show up there in Quincy, and it was done at Mount Wollaston Cemetery, and I was really taken away with how Quincy did this. And Mount Wollaston Cemetery has a section right at the front that is dedicated to those who passed and served our country. They had the Army through the Space Force flags, and not just small flags, but they're like the ones behind me, big, tall flags that you could easily see. And they wanted to have this at the front. They had some cannon there. They had some other monuments to different, wars and conflicts, and those who had passed names were on these monuments, and it was just really neat to see. And I was really impressed by that because it told me that Quincy really wants to make sure when someone comes to a cemetery like Mount Wollaston's, they know that veterans have a place and that they are the priority. It was really cool to see. I think, I sat there and I'm watching all this go on, and I knew that Wreaths Across America Radio was big. If you go back last year, I interviewed people that supported the event, and, the co-founder, Karen Worcester, And her husband founded Wreaths Across America and got it going, and getting to talk with them and learn about the mission and the 8 points that the wreath represents really brought home that people want to educate and pass on the American legacy to future generations. And the wreath honors those who served in the past, but also keeps those memories alive. It was really touching to see that happen last year. This year, I get to participate, and it got surreal when I walked up and I saluted and took the wreath that represented the Marine Corps wreath, and all the Marines there who were buried in Mount Wollaston, who had either passed away or were, missing in action or killed in action. I don't know about the others, but I'm like, there's a significance to this. It was an honor. It was, again, surreal, and it meant something to hand that wreath off on the stand, walk back and salute again, and turn around and take my place. And then when the ceremony concluded, after the mayor of Quincy spoke about, what this meant to the city of Quincy, I got a chance to look out and see, and there weren't like 20 or 30 volunteers. There were entire neighborhoods who had come out to support this event. There were, different demographics, age groups, different, all the different classes, social classes, and, ethnicities in Quincy had come out to support this. Boy Scouts, other groups, Asian advocacy groups wanted to make sure that they had a wreath and laid it on a gravestone for an American service member. And a lot of this really hit home, too, because the founder of I Got Your Six, Amber Smith, has family in Quincy, grew up for part of her time in Quincy, and has a deep, deep connection to Quincy. And so watching her lay wreaths on one of her family members' graves really brought it home as to why she does this. And what this is Amber had this idea to take rescue dogs, train them, and pair them with veterans and first responders in need. And seeing this organization grow and understand what it means to serve other people, again, reminds me that we need civilians to make this happen. We need civilians to be successful for the next phase of veterans advocacy. So again, that was just an amazing experience. I was happy to do it. It was actually about the same temperature as it is now, but it seemed colder. I don't know why. Oh yeah, Stockholm Syndrome. But these are the kinds of experiences I've had with Oscar Mike Radio this year. These are the kinds of things that I enjoy getting to see. I'd like to take a minute here and talk about where the show is now. We're entering the end of 2024. 428 shows, and why is that significant? Well, if you know anything about podcasting or follow it at all, you understand that most podcasts do not make it past show number 31. Most podcasts quit between 17 and 31. And most shows are, do not produce content regularly. And if you understand what that means the minimum baseline for a show's frequency is once a month. When you are a podcast or show creator that creates shows weekly, you're in a different tier. And when you have done it for as long as I have done it, you just are in a very, very small company. And I don't feel like I'm important or special because of that. It certainly makes certain conversations easier when I'm talking to people about what I do and how I do it and the importance of what I do. And the importance of what I do is what I've said before, is I want to do Oscar Mike Radio. And the last time I hit upload a show to get it ready to broadcast, I want to know that all this work helped change or impacted one life. And if Oscar Mike Radio does that, then my mission was successful. And I'd like to think that people can say that I've done that. I don't really focus on that, but I am enjoying the process still, and I'm still learning so much. And I'm seeing, a lot of effort pay off in different respects. There's going to be a lot of changes going on. in the next year as we count down to number 500 and year 10 of doing Oscar Mike Radio. I hit year 9, July 16th, 2025, and then the same thing in 2026 will be 10 years. And I know that Joe Rogan and other big names, Jocko and Sean Ryan, are much bigger than me and have been doing it for their length of time. But when you get to indie level people, that's people with not a big financial budget, and the budget's all of me, and trading for stuff, and refurbing broken equipment and rebuilding PCs that people toss or whatever. Well, I'm doing all right, and it's still a challenge. It's still a learning process. It's still understanding how all these things work together, and still understanding what it takes to tell a good story. That's the key here, right? You can have all the bells and whistles and the fancy equipment and the huge PR budget and your email list rocking, but if you can't tell a great story, you're never going to get anywhere. You're just not. It won't happen for you. It won't happen for you. And so I still focus on that. I still want to understand that I can tell a great story about somebody and connect that story with other people, and then people hearing that story will either change their lives or say, you know what, I can help that person move their goal along. That's really the best part about Oscar Mike Radio. And I'd like to think that people see that. I think I got some proof. I can say this now. Last week, I'm sitting there doing my thing, getting ready for the end of the year, working. I get this email, and it says, Travis, my name is, Jack from, Join Fight Camp, and we have come across your show. We want to, support your show and see if we can develop a relationship. Look, honestly, I thought it was a joke. I thought someone was spoofing an email address and messing with me. It's happened before. People have promised things, said things. I'm going to help you out, bro. I've got you. And then when it's time to do stuff, it gets real quiet. I don't know. But this was different. We set the time to talk, and I actually got tied up with something and missed the first window. We talked later that day, and he's like, yes, we have developed this system. They do in-home, boxing-based training, more cardio-based. You don't need to join a gym. You don't need to know how to box, but it's going to take you through boxing-style workouts, and you can take these workouts and get in better shape. I'm like, wow, huh. And he sent me their information kit. He showed me that they had done work with the VA, Mission 22, other orgs, and we want to add your name to that list. And I'm like, well, how did you come across my show? Like how did that happen? And he's like, well, hey, how it happened is we put out a call for anybody in our veteran community. About 30% of our clients and customers are veterans, and we wanted to see if anybody had any suggestions. And your show came up multiple times. We checked it out. We liked what we saw. We liked how you ask questions and engage with people. We liked the quality, and we want to attach to your show. So I'm not getting paid. They're not writing me a check, but they're sending me one of their kits. And I'm planning to do a full unboxing treatment, take it through its paces, understand the value, and then see how this relationship develops. I was really, really excited. I don't have a PR budget. I don't have a marketing budget. Anything I do is guerrilla. And I'm learning to take advantage of my guerrilla tactics to move things forward. And by that I mean is I'm taking the free HubSpot marketing course. I'm taking the free MailChimp course. And I'm trying to understand, how this side of the business works. I think in the next couple of years, so I'm going to move anything forward, vocally, public speaking, writing, anything. I've got to understand how the nuts and bolts of that side works. Well, I do creation. And I think it's a good thing for me to learn at this point in my time doing this. I'm not trying to be anything that I'm not, but I think if I understand these concepts, I'll be able to tell better stories to more people at a larger scale, easier, quicker, faster. So this whole thing with Fight Camp really ties it into, wow, I mean, you just never know who's listening. You never know who's watching. You never know who's going to, take what you have and move it forward. And, they say lightning doesn't strike in the same spot twice, and I believe that the science is there, but I'm seeing the same thing happen with the community access program I do with Abington CAM, Community Access Media, and again, Adam Gunn, the Director of Veteran Services for Abington, where we produce the Abington Veterans Muster TV show. I have a link in the Oscar Mike Radio show post, and getting to talk with local people. And we've got about half veterans, half civilians, about their stories, how they impact people here in the town of Abington, and how they take what they have and they continue to serve and transition is really a cool thing. And I've learned so much from the TV production side of things, because it's just the scale. Everything is bigger, everything is set up, everything is static for consistent, high quality media production. And I've learned so much. And I just want to thank Adam for the belief in what I was able to do. And then I got to give a big shout out to Kevin Tachi and Matt Lyons and the rest of the crew there for, dialing me in. It's like, hey, trust us with this process. We will, get this right. We'll make you comfortable and you can do what you want to do. And I've had some amazing, amazing conversations. So I'll have that link in the Oscar Mike Radio show post and you can check it out. I want to close with, thanks, Keith. Keith Hayes and I have been working together for about now 9 years. I met him in April of 2016, literally on a cold, bleak April rainy day here in New England at Massasoit Community College in Brockton. And look what this relationship has been able to do in the last 9 years almost. It really shows that sometimes you just can't chase flash. You can't chase the latest person doing whatever with, slick PR and media kit firm. You've got to stick with your people and work with them and let them dial you in. And yeah, he'll tell you I had some, trust issues about things and letting people into my show. But Keith's done everything I've asked him to do. I'll tell him, hey, I really like that. Or I'll tell him, no, I don't like that. We're not doing that. I don't want to do that. Take it back, do it again. I can't. Or poor guy, I'll be like, hey, you know what? I'm getting ready to drop 7 shows in 9 days. So I'm recording on day 1, and day 9, we've got to have, the 7th show finally done. So I've done this before where I recorded 7 shows, 7 hours recording over a day and a half, cut them, finished them, got them to him, and they've gone out day 1 through 7 in 9 days. That's for a 2-person, operation. That is hard to do. And he's done it consistently. And just a big shout out to you, Keith. I think a lot of good things are coming your way in 2025. You certainly have helped out me. You've helped out Levi. You've helped out Doug Macedo, all veteran, creators in different stages of their, path and journey on this creation, ride. And it's great seeing you work with everybody, and we appreciate all the work you've done. So what work is there to be done is I am looking again to get better at what I do. I don't sit there and think that, hey, I know everything, because I don't. I don't know everything. I don't have it all down. I don't, I've learned that I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. And so knowing that, I know that sometimes I have to ask people who do know what the right course of action is, understand if they're giving me the best advice, and then going with that advice. And sometimes it's really easy to see, and sometimes it's not so clear. And so you get this little thing called experience. Yeah, experience is great. Experience is wonderful. But that experience is necessary to grow. So I'm trying to grow and figure out where I need to grow. And I really think, like I said earlier, growth starts with understanding how a lot of back-end things work to get stories out there. And I don't know what I don't know, but I think it's time for me to make that transition and understand some more of the nuts and bolts things in this side of the media business, because it's not about making money from me. It's about, again, telling, better stories to, more people at scale. And it's thinking of telling stories, one of the things I'm going to do, and I'm loath to do this now, but I'm trying to give it like manifestation. If I say it's going to happen, is thanks to Gina Alderman and Sheila Farr, I got my toe really dipped into writing, and so tried writing a couple of years ago, and it just didn't work during my recovery, and couldn't get it going. But I'm going to try it again, and this time I'm going to tell the story of my quadricep rupture recovery, and then taking third place at the Howard Cohen American Masters. And just a big shout out to Dr. Gassman, Dr. Maruka, and Coach Ed and Dominic Popolo from Center City Gym for fixing me, getting me ready to go again, and then training me to that level, and then making sure that I'm on the straight and narrow. And I wouldn't be anywhere near close to this without you all. And again, like I said before, and I'm going to say it now, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. Thank you to the Supreme Commandant. All kidding aside, thank you for putting me through this. I don't know why. I've asked myself that several times. What was the purpose for this? But I think I'm starting to find out, and I think I'm starting to embrace it. And I'm glad I stuck with the hard work it took to get back to this level. And so, I give God the props for getting me back to where I am now, and I'm really starting to enjoy a great quality of life. So this is the last show for 2024 in Oscar Mike Radio. Did it outside, did it on Christmas. I'm going to take it back, upload it to my computer, and me being me, I will probably cut this thing tonight, put it out tomorrow night at 8 p.m. everywhere, and then, hey, it's done. I don't know any podcasters who have done recordings on Christmas, cut them on Christmas, but I didn't have anything else to do. So I'm like, I was going to do it inside where it's nice and warm. I'm like, we got to mix it up. So it's just a beautiful night here in Abington. I'm at the Lewis B. Dorsey Post right here in the heart of Abington. And again, I just want to thank everybody who supported me through, this year and past years. And please, if you're watching this, hit that like button, hit that follow button, share it on your social media. Check me out. I think in 2025, I'll really get the mailing list going again and have some cool stuff in there for you to see a little bit more about me as I put stuff together. And I'm always interested in your feedback and questions. So again, my name is Travis, Marine Corps veteran. I'm the host of Oscar Mike Radio. Thank you so much for sticking with me. And as we're going to say, we are Oscar Mike, mission in flight. Have a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.